Last night, I was having trouble with the router in this room. And, I reached out to just try to troubleshoot with the owner. And I started to notice that I was becoming really self-conscious, kind of doubting, and hyper-vigilant. Because I feared, I guess, coming off as a diva, like maybe I'm asking for too much. Mind you, of course, I'm just simply asking for them to troubleshoot a service that I paid for. It's advertised on the Airbnb. I just started imagining the worst scenario, the worst case of it escalating until I have to rush out and find somewhere else to live while I'm here on the island visiting. I just was imagining the worst possible scenario. And I sat and thought about it for a second and realized it's really a result of a lot of betrayal trauma. I have encountered a lot of people who have abnormally violent, volatile, or offended, angry reactions when I just try to advocate for myself and ask for what I need. When I simply ask for basic things to just be heard or treated as a human, really simple human basic needs. I've just had so many things go wrong that I did not actually do. I didn't invite the harm. You get what I'm saying? I'm talking about those types of incidences where you're literally doing nothing wrong and you experience persecution, injustice, attack. I just realized that's the right word for it. I feared that me simply asking for them to address the Wi-Fi router issue was going to turn into persecution, and somebody looking at me like, who do you think you are, expecting that or asking for this? Like, just deal with it the way it is. Because society really does tell me, especially me, somebody who looks like me, that you should just be happy with whatever you get. How dare you demand what you paid for? You get what I'm saying? All that to say, I was sitting with that. I was literally just processing my own feelings, talking myself through it, because I need to get over it. I really am entitled to properly working internet. I literally paid for it. That's what this is advertised. In that moment where I was facing my own feelings of realizing I've been just dismissed, neglected, and people have been willfully obtuse, willfully ignorant, and pretended not to understand me. All of that kind of the habit of being dismissed and silenced and invalidated, having your feelings invalidated like that all the time, it just creates this feeling of, I'll just do it myself. I literally was thinking, I'll just maybe go buy a router or something on Amazon. I was literally trying to find a way to handle it myself and not ask them because I didn't want to seem too demanding, like a diva or any other stereotype that Black women have been stained with. As I was sitting there facing that feeling, just processing my crap, it occurred to me, oh my gosh, this is how my daughters feel right now. And it made me really sad, really grieved. So there's, of course, a lot of backstory that I'm not about to give you because this is just supposed to be a short little video. But essentially, I experienced what is now called child and mother sabotage. And my ex-husband, first he got custody, then he proceeded to conduct a lot of custody interference tactics and abuse tactics that occur after you've separated and divorced. It's called post-separation abuse. So he proceeds to basically torment me and use my children as pawns after he gets custody. And then eventually he committed parental abduction. But because he was custodial parent, it doesn't count when you're a custodial parent, basically. The law against it is only intended to apply to the non-custodial parent. Does that make sense? So he got away with parental abduction and withholding contact between me and my children. And then they actually approved his motion to relocate. He took the kids first before all that was done, kept them away from me for about 18 months, kept them no contact. And then they eventually granted him his motion to relocate and approved it. And so fast forward, here we are now. My kids have gone to great lengths to go around him and try to maintain contact with me. I'm honored. It blesses my socks off. That was really short. And so there you have it. So what that leaves me with now is, because he's so controlling, their father, we only get to text back and forth, and we are connected on TikTok and Instagram now, apparently. That's all we have. We don't have a real substantial relationship where we get to talk and relate and have parenting time. And they text me back and we talk back and forth. And, I try to send gifts and like for birthday and back to school and things like that. But we don't have a real relationship. We don't have all the components of a connection, and we're not able to build a healthy attachment. Do you get what I'm saying? He won't even let them have FaceTime and live phone calls with me. So that also helps you frame and understand what type of human he is as I say this next thing. When I said that my daughters are going through the same thing, what I mean is I realized in the time I've been communicating with them, a lot of the things that they share are signs of neglect. Signs that they are just being tolerated, not really raised. He neglects their needs with personal care and things like that. And I eventually learned he's trying to make them work to earn basic needs that he should provide as a parent. He has them thinking that they should do chores for certain things that even their brother and stepsister don't pay for. And the one area that for some reason is a real point of focus for him, he had a real bone to pick about breaking their spirits concerning their hair for whatever reason. I have so many stories I could share. At one point I shared the testimonies. One thing he did, he had a habit of promising to get their hair braided, promising to get their hair done. And so when I would offer to do it, when they came over on the weekends, they would say, oh no, daddy's going to take care of it. Daddy's going to take care of it. It's always daddy's going to take care of it. Daddy never takes care of it. Instead, what he does is pull out at the last minute and say, well, you didn't wash your hair, so now you're not getting it done. It's always, well, you didn't do something. Mind you, at this point, they were like 8 and 9-year-olds. They were very used to mommy doing a spa day to care for their crowns. No big deal. That's just what we did. We did that when we were married and all in one household. And I continued that custom when we separated because I decided they're never going to feel like their hair is a tax and a burden and like their kinky coils are somehow bad. I wanted them to take pride in their hair and never feel ashamed of their hair texture. You understand? And for some reason, this nigga just insists on unraveling their confidence. I don't get it. He makes sure that my son's hair is cut and fresh. And apparently the stepdaughter has a drawer full of hair so that she can get her hair done and her hair stays done. But my girls have to earn things. They have to beg. They're constantly begging and asking. They have to earn like personal care products. There was a time where one time he actually sabotaged his own child's participation in an Israelite music video. She was one of the, there was a praise dance team that she participated on. And I was trying to finish her hair. It was summertime. School is out. They're in summer camp that I registered them for. Even though I'm non-custodial parent, I made sure they had a fun summer because he wasn't going to do it. And I was supposed to be dropping off Audrey later in the camp day because I needed to finish her hair. This man, when I went to drop off my son at his camp, and I must have said something or explained something about how I was going to go finish her hair at home, he got pissed and actually showed up at my son's summer camp, blocked my car in and called the police, made his daughter get out of the car with her hair undone, claiming, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. I knew he wouldn't. I knew he was lying. I knew this was strictly him being controlling. People don't understand that it really is that simple. They'll be like confused when I share my story. Why would he do this? Why would he do that? Control. Literally, that's the only reason. To control me. He's obsessed. This is why I nicknamed him Pharaoh. That's really all it is. Control really will make you act that crazy. It will. So back to the story. He blocked my car in, would not let me pull out of my son's summer camp, called the police and demanded that my daughter get out of the vehicle. What did I do? Because that was Monday. I knew she had this video on like Wednesday, the video recording. So I just prepared in advance for the BS I already knew was coming. I made sure to get her a cute little puffball ponytail, and I had my gel and things. I had a little plan and a little kit because I knew the time that I'm scheduled to pick her up, if he follows the rules, I would only have 30 minutes to do this child's hair before the video. And sure enough, I did have to do her hair 30 minutes before the video because he lied and he had not gotten her hair done. I was going to get it braided. I was going to. You're a liar. It's always about sabotaging destabilizing and controlling me. So I had to learn how to work around his BS. Then there was the time where Audrey started locks, begged me for a year. So we did it. She sounded committed, so we're going for it. And several months had passed before her birthday came up, and she decided she wanted a style over top of the locks. Unfortunately, COVID happened. And at that point, right before they went to their dad's house, I explained to her that we could do the style over the locks, but I'm not sure that we can afford to do that right now and pay for this birthday party. We might be able to do that style later after the party. She went to her dad's house and told him because she was hoping he would pay for it, I guess. Poor child didn't know. He talked this child into taking her locks down and then left her hanging. With a half a head of locks in the middle of COVID, my baby sat in COVID with a half a head of locks. She's very tender-headed and has, like, we'll call it like a 4C type of hair. It's a gorgeous little tight little ringlet. I love her hair. It's beautiful. Poor child nobody was taking care of their hair. The stepmom started threatening to relax the hair. So then my girls started helping each other to prevent her from touching their hair because they were used to mommy helping to care for their natural crown. They were not used to somebody threatening to put a chemical in their head because we don't do that in our house. So those are just a few examples of the hair trauma. Shall we call it hair trauma? It is a special fixation he has with breaking their spirit when it comes to their hair care. And because, hair builds confidence, and it's very similar. It reminds me of those abusive moms who get on TikTok or whatever and cut their daughter's hair off to humble her. It has that same type of spirit to it, in my opinion. They've just reached a point where I have perceived a lot of the seeds of hyper independence. They're being adultified, or you know how they call it parentification. They're experiencing a lot of that because of the neglect. And so they're starting to sound hard-hearted and say things that sound like, nope, I got it. I'll do it. I can handle it. And they're justifying his behavior in order to defend themselves or really protect themselves from facing the truth of who their father is. And it's very difficult to watch. It's very difficult to watch. I know I have to respect their process. It is hard to watch somebody defend their abuser. It feels like watching my kids talk as if they've been broken. It's called buck breaking. My mom used to do the same thing to me in different ways. It wasn't the hair. She would break me down in other ways. I can recognize his tactics. I literally married my mother, and I've apologized to my kids several times because I should not have married that man. My children are literally the only good thing to come out of that marriage. The only good thing. They were the all things work together for good. That's it. They truly were a gift because they set me on a path of real self-examination and growth and healing that got me where I am today. All praise to the Most High. And I will, forever be grateful to them for that. Being a mirror. And so, I love them so much that I, of course, want them to know they deserve better. And I have even tried to pay for things or offer things. I've let them know, like, the door is open. You can come back home. I will send a plane ticket. Y'all are old enough to make this decision now. You don't have to stay there. And they want to, which is mind-boggling to me. They are determined to defend and protect this man. And it's really interesting. If you're a person who knows anything about kidnap victims, you understand that's exactly what he did. That's exactly what's happening here. What they do, the reason I figured this out a couple of months ago. I was really like, the kids just started talking to me like they just got real comfortable. We just be talking. They was even sometimes complaining about their dad on the text messages. And I'm just like, why is he allowing this? And I thought about it from a kidnapper's perspective. Once you break a person and you break their identity down badly enough, you know that they won't leave you. You know they're not going to run. You can even take that kidnap victim out into public and you know they're not going to run. They're not going to tell because you've broken them down enough in their identity that they now identify with you, the kidnapper and the abuser. If you understand what happened with colonizers when they brought slaves to America, well, they brought African peoples, they brought a nation of people and enslaved them. But if you understand that, and if you've ever seen that movie, what is it, Roots or whatever, where the master he keeps cracking that whip on Kunta Kinte's back because he's trying to break him of his original identity and his name and make him now change his identity to Toby. And he's cracking that whip trying to break his spirit. It's literally called buck breaking. You can look it up. Buck breaking. It is And they use all these tactics and sort of psychological abuse, like it's a psychological warfare to force you to suppress and forget your original identity, where you came from, whoever you knew, whoever they want you to forget, and then adopt this new identity, this new name. You're a new person. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's what he did to his children. And it is just wild to see it work temporarily. It's like my kids are in there somewhere. The hints of their personality are still there, but their memories are so suppressed, and they've had to repress so much in order to survive and live with him. And so it's wild to watch somebody defend a man who is literally betraying you as we speak. You are literally admitting in this current conversation that he's neglecting you and actually showing favoritism between the children, and you are not the favorite, but you're defending him. That's how cult members talk. Cult members, kidnap victims, all of these things are all dynamics that are related to abuse, spiritual abuse, psychological abuse. All these very subtle, small tactics. It's all very subtle, but they add up. When I taught the psychological abuse support group, I always say one of the coolest things about that book is the cover page, because it shows all these raindrops, because that's how hidden abuse or covert abuse and coercive control works. You don't just come right out punching, beating on somebody. It's a slow erosion of their identity and their reality. That's the word. What he's done is slowly erode their reality so that they rely on him to tell them what to think. Like a whole wolf in sheep's clothing, a false prophet, a false teacher. And so he has successfully gaslit his children into believing that that's how they deserve to be treated. Particularly his girls, that you don't deserve, that you're not worthy of the same equal treatment as the other two siblings, the one attached to my new wife. It's wild. You literally fought for these kids in court just to do me harm, just to try to break my spirit and devastate me. You literally only got your kids to harm me. You didn't get your children to bring any significance to them and help them cultivate their purpose and nurture them like a shepherd. Abba Father is a shepherd, and fathers, according to scripture, should model him and shepherd. And it's crazy to see this guy. I can't believe I procreated with a man who really is this venomous and vindictive and malignant toward me and toward his children. So it's an odd, special kind of perversion that a man would get custody just to neglect the children, neglect their needs, and really set them up for failure in adulthood. You're teaching them hyper independence. He's teaching them to fend for themselves and just putting them in a really bad position. He's perverting what leadership is supposed to look like and what provision is supposed to look like. I was raised like that. My nana used to make me earn things that nanas should just do with their grandkids. Why do I have to come clean your bathroom and reorganize your closets before we can just go hang out and go to brunch and a movie? Normal grandparents want to spend time with their kids. My nana never just ever spent time with me. It always had to include me doing chores and cleaning for her. Always some kind of exploitation. She did the same thing to my mother. My mother then did this, and now my ex is doing it to his kids. And it really teaches performative behaviors that in order to get, and these are the type of parents that was the other reason he got the custody, because he wants somebody who is a prop. He likes to place well-behaved props around him who will make him look good. So if you're the kid who performs well in sports, then he doesn't even care about their grades. As long as they look good out on the field, whatever sport they're playing, then he looks good in his mind. I should have really listened to the Most High. I had no idea that anybody could be that corrupt. Back when I moved forward with the relationship, I never imagined. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I know the Most High warned me not to marry him. I've shared that part of the testimony plenty of times. You better listen if he warns you and go on ahead and walk away, because if you don't, you're going to have a weird testimony like mine. And I was just thinking the way that my kids have sort of forsaken me and chosen the abuser, the coercive controller over me is the exact same way. I realized the other day when I was recording a video, I know exactly how Yah feels watching his children literally forsake him and forfeit their inheritance for a bowl of soup. That's exactly what my kids are doing right now, just like a prodigal. And because love doesn't demand his own way, you can't force it on them. You can't force it. You have to respect their process and just pray that the Most High protect them as they go through whatever they need to go through before they really see their dad and accept. It's not that they don't see it. They haven't accepted it yet. Their head knowledge about their dad and all the complaints they've made for years. It's wild to me. That's another thing. They will complain about my mom's behavior. They call her sugar mama. They complain about stuff she does all the time, but their dad does the same exact thing and they don't see it. Talk about like cognitive dissonance. And their children. So, it's going to take them some time because that's their father. Of course they give him so much benefit of the doubt that he does not deserve. Really, I'm not exaggerating when I say this man has done enough. He did enough in the first year of all the 7 years of trauma to be stoned to death, according to scripture. And I'm not even talking about stuff he did to me. I'm talking about the things he's done and the lies he's told, the promises he's broken, the manipulation and the psychological warfare he has inflicted on his children. The same children. It's wild. I'm telling you, this is mind blowing to me. The same children who would run away and call me for help. The same children who made mandated report after mandated report after mandated report would now, if they were in court today, they would stand before a judge and say, we want to live with him and not our mother. That is the power of psychological abuse at work right there. It won't last forever, but it's working right now. And my flabbers are gasted at the way he has turned their minds to mush, brainwashed. I really do understand how the Most High must feel watching the children of Israel carry on like they do. There really is no, happy ending or closure to this. I'm just sharing my testimony. What I can say is, the more I understand, it has taken a whole lot of, real trust in the Most High that, all things really do work together for good. So I just trust him. Also, I think it helps that I am a kid who is a product of this type of parent. And I know that the Most High ordered my steps and I eventually got clarity and saw things and saw the light and saw the truth. And I just make sure my kids know when you wake up from this deep sleep, when you are ready to come out from among them, when you are tired of eating among pigs and ready to return to your true inheritance, the door is always open. Love you to pieces. That's all I can do. One of the reasons I've been able to accept and grieve and just keep moving forward with my life without being devastated is because I really had to accept the fact that my children, there's a part of them, each of them, that actually wants to live with their father. One day, though, they'll wake up and realize that you're not going to get what you're looking for from him. I had to grieve the same thing about my dad. Some parents, this is both father and mother, some parents, when you really grieve and you really heal, you recognize. Some parents, their only purpose was to get you here. And the Most High is going to have to use other people along the way to mother and father you and nurture you. I did not start breaking the cycle before I realized all of that. And so unfortunately, I repeated it. You repeat what you don't repair. And I ended up marrying a man who is more than happy to continue those cycles that I was trying to break. I made a valiant effort. I'm very grateful that my children got a chance to see a parent repent. They know what it looks like to see a parent repent. And so I just had to accept a few things that, sometimes children, whatever they need, whatever they need. And if that's where you think you're going to get it from, or if you just need to, I think they really need to see who their father is. Because it'll never be said of me, oh, she won't let me see my kids. You know how they try to play that. And these kids be falling for it. These kids want to believe so bad. It's grown men out here today claiming that their mama wouldn't let them see their daddy when that was never the case. Because if that man really wanted to see you, where is he now? Why y'all can't have a relationship now that you ain't under your mama's household control? People don't never be thinking to ask these questions. If your daddy really wanted something to do with you, he'd still have something to do with you after you turned 18. People don't want to tell the truth. They don't want to face the truth. So mothers like me get blamed. And no ma'am and no sir. Go on over there with your daddy. That will not be your testimony. You're not going to be running around here telling. As a matter of fact, they tried that testimony when I was following them on TikTok. Their daddy had them sharing some made up narrative. They used to post little slideshows, and I find it hilarious. Every time they try to smear my name, their account would get shut down. I thought it was hilarious. I wasn't doing it. I don't know what was happening, but they kept having to restart their accounts every time they lied on me. The Most High be working. So, but they used to share slideshows with this rewritten version of the truth, their dad's version of the story. They posted little slideshow carousels with the narrative on these pictures that my kids would never have access to unless either my mother or my ex-husband gave them the photos. And so they would put together slideshows every now and then with this revised story where apparently I kept them away from their father for some extended period of time. Then he swoops in and saves the day and gets custody of his children. Okay, whatever. You ain't stopping my coins. Not a single lie this man done told on me has stopped my ain't no monkey gonna stop this show. Tell yourself whatever lie you need to, honey. No weapon formed against me shall prosper, and every tongue that rises up against me has always been put to shame. So I grieved, I processed, and I just reasoned, like, whatever they need from their dad and whatever they need to grieve and process, I would rather them go through it now. I pray that they really do break the cycle much earlier than I did and see it much earlier than I did. Because I don't want them to repeat the cycle of marrying somebody they shouldn't be with and ending up in a domestic violence situation. None of them. I pray that they really do greater works and that they start the healing process much earlier. But right now, you can't heal in the same place that wounded you. So I just got to pray and love them from a distance.